Oh my God. Y'all thought I was the only one. The pivotal moment for me is when I came to the realization that I didn't even enjoy myself playing 2K23. One of my biggest arguments being, hey, you can't put a price on the value of entertainment for each individual. You just don't know what their life's like. After doing the math, knowing that I didn't even spend as much time as I normally would on 2K, but I spent that much money, $1,200 on 2K23, I said, hell to the nah, that is unacceptable. As a good amount of 2K players learned about themselves after doing the same checks and balances that I did yesterday, I know a lot of us are just disappointed in ourselves. You got G'd, my boy. I got G'd, my boy. But there's a time where it's important to stay composed, yeah? There ain't no way we finna take on a big fight against 2K. That's not going down. But if each of us individually take on our own battle by being just a little bit more cautious with how much money you give 2K, I'll definitely count that as a W in the long run. Last night we hosted a Twitter space, and salute to everyone who came through. Truly appreciate your feedback and your support. And a lot of people had some great things to say, but we were trying to narrow the conversation down, because oftentimes in the 2K community we get the talking and that's all it ends up being, talk. The difference is that 2K takes action, and that action comes right out of your pockets. For 2K, there's a long process to get you to spend more money. Over the last few years, since they've introduced seasons, they've also introduced a bunch of surveys that you guys could fill out and tell them exactly what you like about seasons, what you didn't like about seasons, what were the best rewards, and we just handed over a bunch of analytical data for 2K to monetize seasons. The idea I'm proposing is that we do the same thing as a community. We need set numbers and set researches to find out why 2K players, why sports gamers pay so much more money to video game developers than other gamers in different niches and different genres. Let me ask y'all something. Did you know 2K is the company that led the way toward increasing the base game price to $70? Considering that 2K is tremendously successful every year breaking sales records, what do you think will happen to your favorite game outside of 2K? It's gonna get increased to $70 as well. I don't think the community has fully grasped how large and how powerful 2K actually is. I don't think we realize how much 2K's business decisions influence the entire gaming industry. And here we are faced with another dilemma where 2K separates itself from the competition, as most competitors who offer seasons offer a free-to-play game. 2K said, well, you know what, we're gonna take it up a notch. You're gonna pay for the base price of the game, and we're gonna offer you 4 different versions of that game, going from $60 to $150. We're also gonna put the player base in a position where you're more inclined to pay money for VC, virtual currency, and apply that to your build. The dollar figure for virtual currency and upgrading your build comes to over $100 as it is right now. The price you pay to upgrade your build costs more than the base game. And now 2K24 introduces paying for premium rewards and season passes. Now there's all the obvious, and I don't want to beat a dead horse because I know the community has already spoke about this plenty of times over. But what doesn't seem to be obvious to us is how much money we actually spend on the game. This year, I dropped a video and created a graphic to showcase how much we are paying for our builds. My build came out to 473,000 VC. For folks outside the 2K community, they can't really understand what that means because it's virtual currency. How does that translate into a dollar figure? Well, 2K sells virtual currency packs. The most expensive pack costs you $100. In that most expensive pack, you get 450,000 VC. If my build costs 473,000 VC to upgrade to its max level, that means that not only would I have to purchase the $100 virtual currency pack, but I will also have to either grind or purchase another pack just to upgrade my build to its max potential. Again, those are obvious facts, but it seems within the 2K community, if the dollar figure is not put right in our face, we kind of just let it pass. It's water under the bridge. The same with the video that I posted yesterday, going through my PlayStation transaction history and finding out I spent $1,200 on a game that I didn't even enjoy. $1,200 on a game that went from absolutely amazing, maybe one of the top 3 2Ks upon its release, to ending the annual cycle, in my opinion, as one of the bottom 3 2Ks ever released. And that helps me segue into the conditioning process that I went through, where I was able to spend $1,200 on a game. And let me assure you guys, I do not practice this in my day-to-day living. I'm extremely frugal with how I spend the dollar. I don't need much to be entertained. After seeing that dollar figure, I said, oh hell nah, this can't be life. That led me to wonder how many other players within the community spend this amount of money. And we ended up finding out that a lot of us spend this type of money, if not even more. I think the highest number I seen in response to the video that I made yesterday was about 6K. Imagine spending 6K in one annual cycle. And I don't mean to down the homie that spends 6K, because what I spend is unacceptable as well. What you spent is unacceptable as well. You know what's very weird is that I noticed in these responses, folks calling me a victim. And if you guys notice, I did not leave one negative response to the backlash, because these are absolute facts. I am a victim. What I'm trying to do is change that idea. I no longer want to be a victim. I noticed folks in the community praising the idea that they only spent $400. Do we not understand that spending $400 on a video game for one annual cycle is way too much money? The problem is that we let that time just pass us right by. When we saw it get to $400, we didn't have a problem with that. We didn't even see it coming. And that reverts me back to the conditioning. How are we spending this type of money and not even seeing it come and pass us by? And to remedy this issue of years going by without us even noticing, 2K flying under the radar while we continue to dish out money, I want to spend this year, a pivotal moment in 2K history, because this is supposed to be a great year. So for me as a creator, it's not such a good idea, but for the community as a whole, it seems like an absolute great idea. In my opinion, we need documentation. We need reference points. So as years pass, we always have something to look at and revert to. This way, in the future, if folks come together to go against this money-making machine that is 2K's business side of things, they'll have reference to justify their arguments with spending too much money. As of right now, it seems like we don't have those reference points as a community, so it's hard to make the argument that 2K has been steadily increasing prices. It's hard to make the argument that 2K puts you at a VC deficit every time you get in the game. And although I'm disappointed in myself and I have every intention to at least serve as some slight impact toward change, I still have every intention to have a ton of fun on 2K24. I intend to create new challenges for myself. We were talking yesterday and the homies were saying, hey, you know, everybody's gonna come to try to drop you off. And I'm like, I understand that. You see, because I think it's important that we take on this challenge right now in the 2K world that we live in right now, where most folks are inclined to just pay that money. Most folks are inclined to upgrade their player and immediately go online. And for the player that doesn't spend money on VC, they're somewhat ridiculed. They're frowned upon within the 2K community. I think it's important to document what this feels like for players. This will all help to serve as research tools in the future. I completely understand as a creator, as a player, what I'm getting myself into by attempting a no money spent complete annual cycle playthrough. And when I say no money spent, I mean no money spent. The base game price is all I will be spending for 2K24. And just a couple of days ago, I would have said, that's crazy. Why are you even doing that to yourself? Like, I know a lot of you feel like that as well. That's crazy. Why are you even doing that to yourself? That ain't gonna be fun. Well, my answer to that is I spent a ton of money for 2K23. And I ain't have fun. What would be the difference? To me, the only difference seems I'll have more money in my pocket. How do you justify your difference? There was a point in time, and it wasn't too long ago, when nobody spent money on boosts, and the person that spent money on the boost was the one that was ridiculed. The person that spent money on boosts was the one that was looked at as a cheater, just trying to take advantage of other players. I know it seems insane to think about, especially since 2K has incorporated the boost system into the game. How could they be cheating? But I'm saying that's how we used to feel. And now the good majority of players go out there, they immediately get boosts. Let me ask you guys something else. What is the rush to get out there? The homie Jay Easy brought this up in yesterday's Twitter space. What is the rush to go out there and lose games? Like Jay-Z mentioned, a lot of these players got like 20 win percentages. I want you guys to understand that I'm not taking on this challenge for the sake of taking on the challenge. By the end of this challenge, I want to know the psychological ramifications behind 2K, the conditioning behind 2K. What does that look like? I want to figure out if there is indeed pay to win mechanics incorporated into the game. I want to get a better understanding of the VC deficit that 2K tries their best to keep you at, so that you're more inclined to purchase VC packs. You see, because since 2K has introduced microtransactions, I've been ready and willing to give 2K my money. And if the business side of 2K hadn't so greatly affected gameplay development, in other words, if the game was consistently great every single year, I would have never come to this point to even consider the idea of not spending any more money outside the base game price. And that's another problem that I see with the 2K franchise. It reminds me of a scene, and I think it was Goodfellas. I don't know if you guys recall this scene, but it's when they take over a restaurant and they basically say, after you done milked every dollar, got every penny you could possibly get, all you do is light a match. I'll try my best to remain optimistic about 2K24 because everything they're mentioning about gameplay does sound extremely promising, and I really hope to just have a good experience with gameplay. I hope to regain that trust in the 2K development team. A lot of players in the community don't know who to direct their complaints and grievances to. And as a consumer, you have every right to direct your grievances to whoever you feel you want to. But if you want to help create any level of change, then that's going to go to the big dogs. 2K development and the big dogs are two separate entities. You could voice your opinions about gameplay to gameplay development teams. But when it comes to microtransactions and the increase in costs, that's something that's out of the hands of the development team. As we continue down this journey and down this path, I'm going to help you guys understand how to help create change, the routes which we can take to help bring light to the actual numbers, the numbers that we pay out and the numbers that we get back. It's a long process, but like I said, it's a process that needs to be done. It's a process that needs to be documented. And I'm not being naive here. I understand that this is a super long process. I understand that it's a process that may fail, or at least seemingly fail, because I can see research like this helping to create change 10 years from now. So although it may not serve as an impact on the community right now that we can feel ourselves in the coming years, I feel almost certain that it's definitely going to help the next generation of gamers. I will be hosting another live stream shortly to talk some more about this stuff. So if you guys want to join, come on through. We'd love to have you. And just because I'm talking seriously about this topic, because I think it's something we got to take serious, doesn't mean that I don't want to have fun. 2K24, I want to have fun. Hopefully you guys watching could join me and help make that happen. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join our Discord. We'd love to have you. The link for Discord will be in the description below. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and y'all be sure to keep it locked right here at AllCity Live TV, because we got a bunch more NBA 2K24 news, information, and updates coming your way. Drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. I'll catch you guys on the next video or live stream. Easy, y'all.